Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Today's rule is rule number 15. Just show up.
Today on Rule 42, we will be meeting Becky and Ashley, two girls with cancer.
Yeah, so excited to hear about their journeys and what they've experienced and how they've overcome what they're doing.
And definitely what kind of tribe they have around us around them, because as we say all the time, it's so important who your tribe is and the people that you have around you. So
Yes,
I look so forward.
Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Yeah. 42. I'm Audrey. Welcome to Rule 42.
Hi, I'm Jen. Nice to meet you.
And then we got Tommy over there not paying attention to
Hi,
us.
ladies.
So Ashley and Becky have now switched.
Yes. Yeah.
Becky's now on the left. Ashley's now on the right. See, the fact that I even remembered that is amazing. I am so
That
proud.
is. And
I only remember Tom. Sorry. That's the last name that my brain doesn't fucking well.
Congratulations on you guys' podcast. So that is amazing and scary and all of those things that you learn when you're little that you just have to take the chances. And then as we get older, we stop taking those chances. But kudos to you guys, because I know that this shit is so fucking scary. And then to have got like your stories on top of everything else, like you guys are just hitting the scary shit. Like, you know what? We got this.
Yeah.
So let's hear more about your stories.
I was just thinking, like, podcasting seems way less scary right now. When we went with it, we're just like, whatever, we're going to do it. We don't really care. But yeah, at this point, I can't care about anyone, their followers.
no, you have to live your life and do you. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you want to go first? Do you want to share my story? Yeah. Cancer journey. So how it happened.
Yes.
I started feeling sick in 2022.
When you say sick, because we all have like a different definition for that, were you just kind of like low energy, something was hurting?
That was my first sign, I guess you could say. And then it just started going with like my balance was off, my vision was going. I was tired and I was hungry. Like I would eat probably like 8 meals a day, like big meals, because I meal prep. I was heavy into fitness and all that stuff and that journey. But I would have huge meals. And then at night, I go to bed at about 8 because I'm a full-time single mom. I worked a full-time job. I had a full-time cookbook business. But I was busy, but I would go to bed at 8 and I'd wake up twice during the night to just eat because I was always hungry.
Oh, wow.
And then January 2023, I went to the doctor, like, I am not well. I was like, there's something, like, and I kept going, but they couldn't figure out what was happening. And then she just was like, oh, you're fine. Nothing's coming up on your chest. And then February 15th, my stomach blew up and it looked like I was 9 months pregnant. I went into the hospital and they couldn't figure out for the first 2 days. On the third day, I had a CT scan and they found that I had appendicitis and my appendix burst. So they rushed me in right? And I was like, sweet, we figured it out. I'm good. I was like,
oh my God, not even my appendix burst. We have an answer.
And I was like, looking back at it now, that was nothing. And I was like, sweet. So we go for emergency surgery, get that done. And whenever they cut something out of the body, they always send it away for a pathology report.
Yeah.
And she was like, so it took about 3 weeks to a month, I think, after. And I get a phone call. I was waiting on that because you never know, right? And then I get the phone call and all I heard was cancer. I didn't hear anything else. I didn't hear what it was, what kind of cancer, but it was at 6.3 centimeters. So your appendix was like the size of your pinky and the tumor was like that big.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
And so then it just burst and it bit the cancer, my whole abdominal wall. It actually metastasized. So I went for my second invasive surgery. I was only supposed to go in because I had a PET scan and they found that there was cancer in my lymph nodes. And I had 3 cancer masses that had grown or could have been there. And it was just slowly growing when my appendix burst. And when I went in for surgery, it was only supposed to be a few hours. I went in at 1. I was supposed to come back to my room at 3, and I came back at 7. And they ended up, I didn't know what until after, but they took out half my colon on my right side, 8 cancer masses, the whole peritoneum tissue, 30 lymph nodes on my right side. Then on the left side, I had an 8-centimeter cyst that destroyed my left ovary fallopian tube. So they had to stop the surgery, call my mom to ask for permission to cut that out. So when I woke up from that, like, I have an incision from like above my belly button all the way to above like private area.
Yeah.
So it's quite a big one. And then so that surgery was scary. When I came out, I was just bawling because it's like you go in thinking that you have a few things, right? And then you come out a whole different person. I'm lucky I didn't get a colonoscopy big because they only told me 4 days prior. Heads up. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know what it was really at the time. And then, so I came home, tried to recover from that. And in October, I ended up going for another emergency surgery because the scar tissue, after that huge invasive surgery, and going back to the, scar tissue goes like this, like, it's all like messy with the peppers. Like it did not like of each other, right? So my stomach flew up again. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I started vomiting for like 2 days, and I go in the hospital. They're like, "So you just got a little loop." So they sent me home within 2 hours. I was calling 911 to go to another hospital, and I ended up having a bowel obstruction. I was from the scar tissue because it wrapped itself around 2 spots. So one was on the right, and then on the left, and then the lower right. So they put a tube in my nose for 5 days because they thought that sometimes bowel obstructions can actually like clear themselves up, but this one needed to be surgically fixed because he pretty much went in me, cut the scar tissue, and it was like an elastic band, and everything went back to normal. He said.
Oh.
And then they did another exploratory surgery to make sure that there was no more masses growing. So that surgery was another like 4 hours or so. But so I'm just trying to recover from all those. I do not have active cancer right now in me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the only scary part about this cancer is it's like a hormonal cancer. They don't really know much about it. It's called neuroendocrine cancer. There's not much research. So this cancer does come back in some point in your life, and it will take your life because they only have about 3 treatments once it hits the major organ. And that's depending if your body like takes it. So
have you done any like chemo or anything for that, or is that just the surgeries alone to remove the masses?
Where I was at, it was too small. Like it was just like, and everything happened so fast for me, right? Yeah. But my appendix burst with the cancer everywhere. There was no options. Pretty much go in, cut me open, had everything out. Like when they took because when it spit, so it like pretty much sneezed and spit cancer everywhere. So that peritoneum, they had to go in and scrape out the whole inside with a metal brush to get as much cancer, right? Everything out as they could. They were like cleaning all my inside. But so they couldn't tell me for sure if they got all the cancer, but right now I'm okay. And like I'm fine. I'm fine. That's their motto, but I'm fine. I ended up, I think what saved me, I don't know if you guys have it down there, but I kind of I had no choice but the holistic route. So I went and got my blood life tested, blood life analysis. And pretty much that saved my life with the surgeries. I would have probably been dead by October if I didn't get that. Wow. I had microscopic parasites in me. I had blood clots, mold, fungus, heavy metals, and my liver was failing. So, and that was all just from one prick of blood. She looked under, and it was crazy. So it takes 4 months for your red blood cells to turn over. And within the 4 months, I was able to start getting it back on track.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
right?
Oh, did someone recommend that you do this, or did someone recommend that you take this test?
My brother-in-law.
It wasn't even your doctor.
No, they
Not a doctor.
no, they're like, you can't. And I'm like, well, nobody's helped. Not that they weren't helping me, because they did, but they just kind of stopped there. Like Western medicine, they don't believe in that stuff, right? So out of that, my niece's engagement party, and my brother-in-law was crying. I was like, I don't want to die. And I was like, I don't feel well. I was like, I don't feel well still. And he was like, we're not going to let you die. He's like, you need to go get your blood life tested. I'm like, hey. And then that's what changed my life. And if it wasn't for that, I believe that I would not be here today, because parents, it was all killing me. Like my body was, how fast, like I think if they would have caught before my appendix burst and they would have took out that tumor, I would have been okay.
Yeah.
But because it burst, the cancer's everywhere. It's already rapidly growing, like it's spreading. And so I think that, well, that's what I believe anyways, is that if I didn't go get that done and clean out my blood, I wouldn't be here. But the cancer would start growing, because my body was so infested in everything, and it wasn't healthy and inflamed, right? It shutting down everything. A breathing rapid. But we don't think that. Like, I've never heard of blood lime analysis.
Me either. I feel like that's definitely something that we need to like put in the description for today's show. Because that
where to go to save my life if I didn't, And then 4 months after that, I went and got retested, and my blood was like, what should they? She said it was like clear. Like you look at it, like I compared with no parasites, there was no fungus, no mold. You were hydrated, your vitamins were normal. Like except like my liver was we're still working on my liver right now. But if you compare the two, like night and day, it was amazing.
That's
amazing. That is so great.
Can I just jump back? Can I just ask you, Ashley, did you try any like alternative things like soursop teas or lion's mane or
I say probably somebody. I mean, that I posted yesterday on our YouTube is actually supplement regime. I just came up with a bit, like a gross that, and I still didn't forgot it happened. My memory doesn't work. But I literally went down that rabbit hole of what am I going to do? I don't want to die. I have a 4-year-old. I'm a single mom. He needs me. And then I just researched, and then I do so many things.
There are a lot of natural.
Oh yeah, there is, but pharmaceuticals can make money.
Of course. We have this conversation all of the time.
All the time. I'm very natural based with and healing and stuff like that.
Why would we want to be?
Yeah. Well, the Amazon, and there's so many plants and stuff that help with so many different issues that we have. I know firsthand from my sister, who's also dealt with cancer for many, many years in her life. She had colon cancer. It came back, and it was a reoccurring thing. And she had her colon removed, and she did the chemo route the first time because you hear cancer, you get scared, and you're going to do what the doctors tell you. But the last time her cancer came back, it came back in her throat, and she was just like, "No, I'm not doing the cancer. You're not like filling me with all those no." And she's been studying to be a shaman in Peru. So she's been working with plant medicines and stuff like that. So she went to Peru and just hardcore went into the medicine and just the meditations and energy healing. And she came back and the cancer's gone. And
but we can heal ourselves like that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing once you actually are like, okay, when you're faced with death and you're like, okay, you know what? I want to live. And you go, you do your research, and there's a lot of people out there who are just, not brainwashed, but we're told a certain thing and a certain way to think. Carol. We had Carol in our TikTok, but let's go back. The biggest thing that I've learned is or Karen. Well, her name's Carol. Anyways.
But she was Karen.
Probably should have put her name, but anyway.
Carol Baskin.
I don't see. Let's just. But the biggest thing for me is what on this journey is the liver. If your liver is not working, you're not gonna be able to clean out your body. Sick. You're gonna get sick. Not just cancer, like but it's any other disease. You know, like your body's not gonna function. And like, I had another person who was like, well, doesn't no disease is an alkaline body. Like, yes, but if you're not doing all these other things, it's not gonna work. I have a Kangen water machine. Had it for 7 years. Did that save my life? No, but I swear by that water because it's alkaline water. But you have to do other things, right? You can't just be fixated on the one. It's a multiple thing.
Well, and just like you can't, if you're going to go the chemo route, you can't just do chemo. There's like, you're going to destroy your body. You have to also raise you up in the meantime. So these people that have one track mind, if I can do one treatment, because that's what my doctor said, like to me and to Ashley, like I was like, oh, you're not going to take me home and let me die. And I was like, I can't do this. My family, you pretty much told me I had 6 months. In between 6 months to 15 years to live when the cancer comes back. And I'm like, that's not good enough. What? You have to win it. And you're going to live for 6 months, but you're going to live for 15 years. Like, right? No, I just wrote it. I know that it's awful. Like, now I'm struggling with how bad those surgeries was. My stomach will blow up and I'll look 6 months pregnant. And it happens it didn't happen for the first 2, but after the last surgery, I think I just had been cut open too many times. Because you're not supposed to be
a lot of air.
I've had 2 colonoscopies and 3 surgeries in 10 months.
Wow.
You know, like so my body's just struggling, but now it will blow up and the longest it's been swollen and pain, like bad, like I can't even get out of bad pain, the last 3 weeks. And then that was so long. Yeah. And of course, so it's going down this morning, but I look pregnant. Can you see that?
I mean,
it's hard to tell, but
I look like that every time I eat, so I can't really say anything.
I've lost a lot of weight from being sick, and then just this big gut.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, that's a lot for your body to go through.
Yeah, like I burned on myself because I was such a go-getter, and then that's pretty much like humbled me and stopped me in my tracks. So.
It changed your priorities.
It did. And, having, as a single parent, having a baby, it's like, what can I do to survive? What can I do so I can grow up? And I think that was my biggest strength with him. And like, last night, he started crying. And, you don't think that these things, I might start crying, but you don't think these things affect him or kids. And he's like, well, I don't want you to ever die. And I'm like, oh my God.
They see all of it.
I'm like, I'm here forever. But, but he was 3 at the time when it happened. And now he's just over 4. But,
Wow. So this is like your journey, like pretty much just started.
It did. And it happened very, very fast. Both of our
no kidding.
A couple weeks of each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we didn't know each other.
I was just going to say, did you guys know each other prior to your...
We live in the same town. Our town is maybe like 30,000 people. She lives a mile away from me. She dated a guy that I grew up with. She knew my brother. Like, and was the same days. Yeah.
Small world, right?
Yes.
Until we got a second product, and then ungrateful, like I would be lost without her. Because people don't get it. Because I don't look sick. I didn't lose my hair. I had no option. I couldn't do chemo radiation, and that's what, destroys your body to get you back on track. But I don't look sick, and people don't understand what's going on inside. Like I had a feeling like I'm tired all the time. We did an episode and I couldn't even, like, my brain, I had to have a nap in between, or because I'm so tired all the time. But because I look a certain way, people are very judgmental. People say I don't even have cancer, or I may have had it, or like maybe I'm stage 1, not stage 4. I had to literally post on our page just yesterday that I had stage 4 cancer. Yes.
Well, why? I don't get people. Like, why is it even, why we, yes, I'm lying about cancer. I want to mention, like, that's so silly.
I cut open my stomach just for fun. I would.
Yeah. I don't have anything. I just don't like going to the hospital.
I do this because I want to sit at home. Sleep on and fuck. I love juicing every day. Always eat sweets. Honestly, let me try it.
Yes, when they're everywhere. I just gave up on juice.
I got it. Well,
And I love juicing.
I heard juicing is very good.
So good.
I love it.
I'm like juicing, and then I got sick, and then it was like, if you don't juice, like I had in my head, if I don't juice every day, I'm gonna die. And so now when I drink the juice, like I like all the vegetables independently, but when I juice them all together, there's like some PTSD there. You know?
And it's not, I want that life. This tastes like shit. And there's like vegetables in here. You know?
So I actually remember when like the green drink was a huge deal. And my friend and I used to hang out in Greenwich, on Greenwich Avenue all the time. So we're like, we're going to this place and we're getting this green drink because everybody's drinking it. It's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
We walk out with our green drinks and we were like, cheers. And we took one sip and threw it in the garbage. I don't even think I swallowed it.
I mean, I put some fruits in there too.
So kudos to you for being able to swallow it.
When I first got sick, I was following this one plan, and he had what was it? Beet, carrot, like one green apple, apple lemon with the peel, and garlic. And it, like this thing was like, it was horrible.
But it works.
But that's the thing. But when you, and like what she was saying, it's exhausting because now we have to do it. We don't have a choice. You know, before it's like, oh, we're juicing. Like, and it's like, and even now that you have to do this every single day, you're going to die. It's true though, but it's exhausting. But I mean,
I'm kind of in the middle, and like I do it usually when I do like my Montana because I need to replace the extra electrolytes, but like I don't feel like I need to do it to survive anymore. Yeah, luckily I've kind of come to terms with that, but I do still do it regularly. I mean, I still do mine every 3 days. Every 3 days.
But at least you're doing it.
Yeah, that's
And then you don't feel that, like, you're like, oh, you're back to work. I'm like, no. I don't have the people are starting for work. I'm healing. I'm lit. When I wake up in the morning, I only have energy until about 12.
Yeah, we crash.
And then I crash. And then the rest of the day, I'm moping around. I'm in and out of napping. And I'm back in bed by 6 p.m. My son and I are back in the room because that's all I have. That's it. So for me, meal prepping is very important to me. And because there's days where I can't do it. But then there's days I have energy and I can cook food. But I depend on that a lot.
But yeah, but you have those days where you are capable, that you can get through it and do it.
Oh, getting way, way better now. Before I couldn't. My sisters had to cook for me. My other sister got me like, those meals. Oh,
like Meals on Wheels.
Pre-made, to the door, and because I couldn't do anything. And then now I'm starting to be able to do. Before I could do 20 tasks a day. Now I'm like, okay, I can do one. I can juice, and I can make a couple meal preps, and then I'm done for the day.
But at least you're still doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love meal prepping. And Hannah, my TikTok and Instagram, it's all food. Because I published the cookbook before cancer, so I love doing that stuff. So I would always share my recipes and all that. So that's what has kept me the most sane on this journey, because I still feel like I'm helping people or sharing or interacting, even though I'm mostly at home. That's the orator.
No, you're still experiencing life.
Yeah, I am. And it's just a different way. But if I didn't, I would probably lose my life. Like, when I got told there's nothing for me, I would literally wake up gasping for air, wondering if I was alive. And that was in like the beginning, but mentally it's hard. Mentally I'm getting better now, but it took time. Like, you don't ever expect you're going to go through that life.
No,
you not at 30. I just like, no, I'm like, what are you doing? How am I going to do this? And once you get out of the panic mode, then your brain is like, okay, let's fight. Let's do this. What am I going to do? And my outlet is cooking.
It's like you have no other choice.
As long as you have something to kind of like delve yourself into to take your mind off of it, I think that's really important.
And that's really important. If anyone's going through this journey, you don't want to get lost in what they say or your own diagnosis. Yeah, You have to keep pushing.
Yeah.
I know I almost flipped a few times into darkness, but I had the help. I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for about a year now. This June will be a year. It's hard. I think people forget about the mental side and how PTSD, how much it affects you. It's not just your body, everything else, mental too. Emotional, both mental. Yeah. Well, mine is physical because I can't even turn to white. My butt's so sorry.
No,
Look at Tommy covers his face. He's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to laugh. And I know exactly what you're talking about. My mother went through the same thing, so I remember it takes me back. But yeah, that's a struggle. People don't see that side of it.
I know. 4 times at the mall for I just walk in and I look over at my mom's like, what? I'm like, I start bawling. I'm like, we need to go to the bathroom. Leaving my underwear. But I can't control myself now.
Yeah.
Turning, it's hard. I don't have what I used to have,
People are so quick to judge.
Yes.
They are. Oh, and I had a handicap sticker. And because people don't see it, right? And I went through how many surgeries, and I have to literally lift up my shirt and be like, here, show my huge scar. And I'm like, this is why I have it. But I should never have to, but I always feel like I need to prove myself because I don't look like a thick girl.
I'm working on that. So I grew up kind of thinking that I always have to prove myself to other people. And it's something that people have been telling me a lot, that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. No one will, there will always be people out there judging you. And I actually had someone tell me, so I had cervical cancer. And the only reason I found out was because my ex made me go to the doctor. Because I fall into that bad statistic of being the minority that doesn't go to the doctor. Because I think half the time they end up sending you to 20 other doctors, and 30 medications later, you have more medication because they're trying to fix the stuff that the other medication did wrong to you.
Yeah.
So he made me go in, and I handled everything privately. He helped me through it. I didn't tell anybody for years.
Oh, wow.
Years. I really didn't think of it as, I was so young that I didn't think that it was like a big deal. I was just like, all right, well, I had it. It was done. They got rid of it. I'm fine. And someone was having a conversation about cancer. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I know what it's like to be told. But it was also like, by the way, to have one, this is the best one to have, because it's pretty, like, we could just get rid of it. And I'm like, all right, it is what it is. I was told I was lying.
They said you were lying?
That I lied.
That you didn't have cancer?
Yes. That I did not get it removed, that I did not go through a procedure, that I did not, that I was lying. And I was like, oh, okay, well, just because I'm private doesn't mean that I'm not experiencing something. But that's cool. If that's what makes you feel better about, like, your situation, to say I'm lying.
Well, the thing with cervix too is, like, no one can.
No. And he literally
looked, before he did the biopsy, I was not expecting it to hurt. So I assumed that anything that would feel that painful would be numbed or something. And he goes in and he's like, well, so I'm going to let you know you have cervical cancer because it is everywhere. But I'm going to biopsy it to send it out. And he scheduled me already for the removal and all that process. Before he even came in. It came in like 2 days later. He's like, yeah. But when they cut it out, I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, you literally just cut a piece of meat from my body, like a chunk, and told me it was going to feel like a pinch.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, like, we don't have to prove ourselves to anybody. And nobody understands our battles. I have 6 kids.
What?
But yeah.
Good for you.
But there are so many people that are just so ready to, like, judge. Like, yes.
I'm dealing with that just yesterday.
Why? What? Because everybody hides behind a screen.
I don't know.
No, a lot of people are. it's that mob mentality behind a screen now.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden nobody reaps any kind of repercussions for like their actions. It's just like, oh, okay, people can treat you like shit now.
Even customer service is going that shit.
Yeah.
Like they'll back talk you, and it's like, excuse me.
Yes.
I made a comment on an Instagram video. It was like a preacher in the States. I actually liked the things that he would say because he's outspoken. I like anyone who's kind of an underdog or like outspoken.
Mhm.
And he said some things that I was like, hey, like, you know, people don't agree with what he's saying, but like I like that he's vocal. And people just ripped me apart on Instagram, told me I deserved to have cancer. Like,
God.
Shut up.
because I'm so stupid and because I like this picture on Instagram that I really never met or know anything about. I just like to comment, yeah, that I deserve to have cancer and die.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
No, that like I'm at home every day wondering if I'm actually going to die. And I like, you know, I can barely parent and I can barely be a wife and I can barely function, but like, you know, I deserve to die because I like what this guy said. Okay. People are very tough on mine.
Yeah.
Very, very tough on mine.
Because they're hiding behind a false persona. These people are not like that in person. If you
No.
were to confront them in person, half of them would back down and be like, oh, I didn't say nothing.
And I would confront all of them.
But yeah, I'm bad. This girl is ghetto. I didn't know. She is like ready to fight at any time. Someone will say something. She's like, let's go. And me, I throw it down on something. Oh, I have this lady, Costco. This was just a couple weeks ago. And I go in and start pulling down my pants to the bathroom. And she's like, she's an older lady. And she's like, it stinks like shit in here. Somebody shit their pants. How's it? And I come out and okay. So I pull my pants up. And I come out and like, you think? Like, really? Like, you know what? Because it wasn't me who shit myself, obviously. I was like, first off, I should go wash through. And we all do it, you know? I'm like, do you think that person meant to shit themselves? I'm like, they're probably pretty embarrassed. And here you are out here, you know, making them feel bad. They probably don't want to come out of the stall. I was like, I shit myself so many times because I had cancer. Because you think I wanted to shit myself? Do you think I wanted to clean my underwear? Well, my mom also has disinfectant wipes in her purse. So after she's just, I want to clarify that. She's not walking down in total. No, but she also cleaned out the sink. But anyway, but so I confronted this lady and the look on her face, she was like, and I'm like, how dare you? Like, shame on you. You know, we shouldn't judge people like that. I hate it. Which I want to help people so bad. And like, what if that was an elderly person? She's not going to get out there and start fighting, so I'll fight for her. Like, hopefully I don't actually have to fight because I can't fight. And I know if I don't love you, like, I don't need to fight about it. Like, whatever. I'd be like, yeah, I did. You know, I'm bad.
Do you guys find also on the flip side that people kind of shun you or treat you like almost like pets? Like, oh, look at the poor, you know?
I had a good core group, but I was really mistreated.
I have really beautiful, amazing friends. Like my core girl, they've never left. They've been so supportive. But those, you know, like people I considered friends or good acquaintances or coworkers, like where'd they go? And then it's like for you or like you're diseased or I don't know why they don't talk to me. People think that it's so touchy that anything they say is going to be offensive or funny. Aliens, I'm like, I'm the same person. Only now I have one thing that's like, well, like I tried to fun, but I mean, yeah, but whatever. They don't say anything that's offensive. They're not like, right, die. Like no one says that. If they were just like, hey, how are you feeling? But I had girls reach out from like elementary school, junior high, to high school, girls that I was not friends with, randomly reach out to me, and I thought, hey, I messaged me, but like we're like friends. So weird.
I think they just don't know how to respond because I actually have been around a few people with cancer as well, and people do just kind of like while they're going through everything, almost like they can't handle it themselves, and that could totally be it. Maybe they're going through something and they just kind of can't handle like your stuff, or like my stuff over any of our stuff.
Some people are over it with me. That don't react well to trauma or
no. Some people that their MO is just to kind of back away and be like, you do you, and I'll see you eventually, maybe.
I reached out to a guy this weekend, a guy I grew up with. I would consider one of my best friends for many years, and I hadn't heard from him.
And I actually knew that his mom just passed away from the same cancer that Ashley had. And so I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, like, how are things? I've been talking years. And he said, I just wanted to apologize. I'm so sorry. I couldn't deal with what my mom was going through. And then I found out it was you. He goes, I couldn't do it. And like, I'm okay with it. Like, I wasn't offended. I understand. Like, people have reactions to trauma that are different than the way that I deal with it, right?
Yeah.
But, it's like to hear that eventually. And my mom has said through this whole process, like, why don't you reach out to people? And I'm like, why don't you reach out to that? But maybe I feel what, under all of this journey, I think the biggest thing is don't hang on to something that's not serving you.
Yeah.
That was it for me. And it took me a long time to let people go and stop them from treating me a certain way. And, I'm not perfect, but
none of us are, though. That's humankind.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, just be kind to each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
hard.
that's it. Just be nice to one another. And if you don't like someone, like that's okay. You don't have to be their best friend, but just be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice.
Don't talk shit about them on the rest when they're not there. Or report their GoFundMe because they're lying. What is that? I can't see it. Our light is so bright.
It says be a nice human. It is this plaque that sits on my desk. So what? Because that's all you got to do. You just have to be a nice human. I don't need you to love me. Just be nice.
Yeah. Life is not that hard. Be nice to everyone.
Yeah. The world would be such a better place. Now, Becky, we haven't heard your story.
Oh, okay.
Well, like that little throw in with like, now I have one boob. Okay, so now I know that you got it. But we don't know how you got one boob.
Just like Ashley. Yes. No, I'm kidding. So I am Becky. I had breast cancer, and I was diagnosed last year, 2023, February 1st. So literally like a few weeks before Ashley. And for the first month that I had it, I was like really wrestling with what I'm going to do, because I too was like very holistic and crunchy, self-proclaimed crunchy. And I was not going to do chemo. Like, chemo was for dumb people. Like, I wasn't doing that. I'm smarter than that. And so I really struggled. And with my husband too, like, him and I fought on this. He wanted me to do chemo and did not want to spend money on me going to Mexico. But I was like, no, I'm going to Mexico. And so I ended up going to Mexico. I got there 5 weeks after diagnosis, the beginning of March. And I did 4 weeks of treatment down there. And it was awesome. But like the first day I got there, my doctors in Mexico said, you need chemo. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, I came down here for holistic. You're going to heal me with like, and so I agreed to do it down there as well, because they do a low dose chemo. So instead of being, 100% potency where you're a shell of who you were, you don't really feel a lot of side effects from it. So that worked very well. All the tumors in the breast itself had disappeared. And I was thinking like, yeah, man, I'm cancer free. And so I came back for, I think, a month and a half. And I was like, I just feel like I really need to go back down to Mexico and finish up the course, because it was supposed to be 6 treatments of chemo and I only had time to do 4. So, and I didn't want to be away from my kids so I came back and then I went back for two more weeks. And then while I was down there, I also did surgery where they cut out one of the tumors, like a lot of the lymph node tumors, and turned it into like an oral vaccine. So I say vaccine fairly loosely. It was more like an immunotherapy thing.
Okay.
And they were talking. No, I would drink it. They started in these little disgusting vials, and I would sip them every 3 days or every 2 days, 3 times a week. Oh yeah. So they take this tumor out and then do whatever they do in the lab. And then, so basically, like, you're putting it back in your body is saying like, oh, hey, we don't like this. Let's fight with that cell or that, like, in your body. So I did that. And then I did my 2 more rounds of chemo. I came back, and in where we live in Edmonton, I had originally seen a surgeon. That's your first person you see when you have breast cancer, is a surgeon, because generally they want to do the surgery right away, get it out of you, and then do chemo radiation. And so I really butt heads with my surgeon. I was like, well, I'm not sure what I want to do. Like, let me think about it. And then I went to Mexico when I came back, and he goes, oh, you still have your hair. And I said, yeah, I did. He goes, you didn't do chemo. I said, oh, I did. I think for thinking that he knew I went to Mexico because I sent all my scans to his receptionist. And then he goes, well, you need 2 more rounds of chemo. Let me call your oncologist and just see if she'll still administer the last 2 or she wants to start over. And I said, no, I went to Mexico. Well, his whole opinion completely changed. And he was like, oh, what? You didn't get the standard level of care and you just wasted 2 months of your life. And I'm not going to even give you an MRI to see where you're at. I'm not going to look at your MRI that you got in Mexico where that shows that all the tumors in the boob were gone. I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to call your oncologist and see if she'll give you chemo. She said, I'm not even going to do what's called a sentinel node biopsy, where they basically just take out a couple of lymph nodes, do pathology on them, and see if the cancer is still there. I'm going to take out all of your lymph nodes in your arm, and that's going to end up in neuropathy or lymphedema in your arm. And that's what he told me. And he was mad. And I was like, okay, like first off, that's my your body. And this was a Monday. He said, you have until Friday to make that decision, or if you're going to go and do chemo here. And Friday came and went. My husband said, did you call him? I said, no, I didn't call him.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Figure it out.
Automated my ass.
Yeah. I went and saw my medical oncologist as well in that time. And I was like, what's the guy's deal? Like, is this normal standard procedure? And she's actually South American, I believe. So I think she has a little bit of grace of people who go to Mexico. And she said, let me talk to your surgeon and just see if he'd be willing to do the sentinel node biopsy instead of a full lymph node dissection. Well, a couple hours later, I got a call from the surgeon's office. A new surgeon has taken me on as a patient. He didn't like it. I heard he's got a bit of a god call, but she would never want him anyway. He would never.
No.
No.
He wasn't doing what was best for you. He was just angry and being bitter and resentful.
And I think because he is the first person that people go to see, he's used to these vulnerable women who are scared and have to listen to him, because I'd say probably 95% of women go in there going, yeah, absolutely, you're this major, you have to know my body. And then people like me who are like, what's in about this first? Let's think about that sometime. Yeah, like that. So I got a new surgeon in the same office, and then he was such a darling. He was amazing. And he said, let me see your Mexican MRI. Let me send you for a new MRI. Let me see, how everything's progressing. And then I went back to Mexico again in that time and did 2 more. I came back, had my MRI. Well, wouldn't you know it, the cancer was still there. I was pretty sure it was all gone at this point, but the Mexican MRI didn't look at my lymph nodes. They only looked at the boob themselves. And so, yeah, it was great that the cancer in the boob was gone, but the lymph nodes are kind of the big one because they'll live way through your organ. So he explained chemo to me in a much different light than the other guy. He, basically said the type of cancer that you have, which was HER2 positive breast cancer, is very, very receptive to chemo. Like 70 to 80% chance that the chemo in your body or the cancer in your body is going to completely reverse itself. No, one would have said that. Yeah, the other guy was like, you need chemo or death. It didn't explain. And so it took me another month after that. And I was still like, no, I'm not getting that. I'll figure out more money to go to Mexico. Because at this point, I'd already spent about, it was 31,000 American. So in Canada, that's like $1 million. Yeah. No, $45,000. And so I don't have any more money for this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it took me probably a month before I was like, okay, let's try it. You've done all the holistic. And I came home with this huge regimen of supplements and vitamins and things like that from my Mexican doctor. This one day I was sitting in my sauna at home and I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was talking about how he was very crunchy and very natural and he wasn't going to do chemo, and he decided that he was going to, and he was going to believe in his body 110%. And he's going to positive talk his way through it, basically. And I was like, I can do this too, fine. And so I called up my oncologist. I was like, fine, I'll do it. And so at this point, it's already the end of June. So I was diagnosed February 1st. So in cancer month, cancer days, it's not too long, right?
Yeah.
You need to get on it within that week, right? And so I was like, fine, I'll do it. I'll do the chemo. And it was brutal.
as it is. I hated it. And they were very against me taking any of my Mexican supplements during it, even though my Mexican doctor said continue to do it throughout the whole process. But I didn't. And quite honestly, I was just too weak and exhausted, mentally drained, physically drained to do everything every day because it was like a whole arsenal of it. Like giving myself needles and taking pills at that time. Like, I didn't even care. And I went from like not eating anything bad, like eating everything organic and raw or like with very clean meat and stuff to just like eating whatever I wanted. Like, yeah, me McDonald's, I don't care.
Whatever your body would take.
Give me all I wanted was McDonald's. I'm so hungry. I didn't care what happened. Yeah. And so the first round of chemo was absolutely brutal. I had everything. Like, I had so many mouth sores. My lips were so swollen. They actually looked so good. They looked like I had them. But they were like so swollen because I had so many tangles like underneath them. I had thrush, I had tongue bumps, I got ringworm on my chest somehow. I was covered in acne. Well, that was just random. I got a sinus infection that went into my eye and it like blew up.
Oh my God.
I got colitis as well, like chemo-induced colitis. And a lot of diarrhea. I lost a lot of weight, which was pretty cool at the time. Now looking back, apparently that wasn't so cool. But yeah, so like I had
Not how you want to diet.
Well, I would go and get checked every chemo day. They would check your weight and be like, "Oh, you lost quite a bit of weight." You're like, "No." So like, "Oh, that's not good." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And so along with my goal weight, yeah, I was. I was so excited the first day that I'm done too. But whatever, it all came back and then some. But yeah, so my doctor adjusted it because I said, I'm not doing this. Like, why have I done this? Like, why? I can't handle this. 5 more treatments in this? No. And so she adjusted it so it was a little more palatable. So I would have 2, 3, maybe 4 days where I felt pretty gross. Like, it just hung over. That's the feeling, like a really bad hangover. And then I'd be good for 2.5 weeks. Like, you would definitely not know I was going through chemo. I wore wigs, like I wear a lot of wigs. And then I would always do my makeup. I had my eyebrows tattooed. My lashes never fell out. And when they started to get a little thinner, I would just wear falsies. Like, no one would ever know that I was sick. And so that was finished in the end of October, just this past year. And I did my single mastectomy in November. And they did the pathology and it was completely clear. Like everything had reversed as they said it would. They checked the lymph nodes and they were completely clear. You could see that they had once had cancer and they had reversed.
That's amazing.
And then so out of precaution, they wanted to do radiation. And I was like, I didn't want to do it. I don't know. Like, I don't even use them different radiation in my body. But I thought, at this point, I've done all of the other things I do, and I was back with my naturopath at this point. I was back on my Mexican supplements at this point, like getting my body strong. And I thought, we've done everything else. We might as well just do it, and then I can say that I tackled this with everything that I have. And so, radiation isn't fun either. Get burned, and I have some serious whether atrophy, muscle atrophy, like everything is very tight. Yeah, that's just because I'm old and weak. I get a lot of back pain now, and I think it's just because for so long I kind of just lay around. I have to feel on a donut. Yeah, I'm on a pillow because I forgot the donut. Things we grew.
No, but you try to get your body in a position where it's comfortable because that is a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So now, that I'm, what is it, May? So 3 months since radiation ended, it's just trying to get my body healthy. Like I'm like I said, I'm back with my naturopath, and I'm hitting the supplements hard because after everything was done, I was so drained, probably sicker like the beginning of this year than I was through this entire process because everything had been depleted. And when you're in fight mode, that's your one focus is just get better. And then once it's over and I say, hey, you're better. Now it's like everything is coming out of me. All the emotions are coming out of me. Like I was so beat down at the beginning of this year. So, now I'm just trying to get myself back on track, but it is hard and a very slow process.
But you're getting there. And you guys have, so you guys have each other to support through this journey, which is freaking so important because your tribe is how you get through life.
Yeah. You need
another
people.
There was another girl in our town. She was a couple years older than us, but for me, like she had the cancer, breast cancer as well, and she had gone down to Mexico. Like when she was in Mexico, I was like, "Hey, bring me back some supplements." I went out of the Mexico, I brought her back supplements. Like we connected, but she actually passed away in October, and that was really hard. And her and I have been chatting online since she had gone sick in March, but we never got together in person just because like surgery. Yeah, because we were so sick and just tired. And then when our friend passed away, I texted her out. Yeah, it's just like, it's like we need each other more than it. And I'm like, we do. I think it was more, it was like, it became, it was like people that, are in that tribe or that we have for support because like we said before, that not a lot of people understand what you're going through. When she passed away, it hit us a little apart. And so we went to the funeral together. That was the first time we officially got together in person. And since then, it's been tight because like, we have our good friends, but like, it's not the same.
But because you guys understand what you're going through. It might not be the same cancer, but it's still a journey of exhaustion, mentally, emotionally, physically.
I know that she gets it, but I feel like, oh, come on. And they're like, no. Well, and it's like tired. Her and I quite often will be like, oh, what do we have planned this day? Are we recording or do we have an interview? Do we have whatever? And then we're like, wait, did we talk about things over and over and over? But that's different. But we understand each other. Other people could be frustrated with us. So we're like, oh, yeah, okay, let's do it again. What do we got?
Yeah.
And after we're done this, I'll ask her for tomorrow. What do we get? Because I have first.
That's awesome. Well, you guys definitely fought through all of it, and you guys came out on the better, or you're in the direction of coming out on the better end of all of this.
Thank you. Well, that's pretty amazing.
With a partnership, and I don't care what anybody says. Like Jen is my partner. She has her partner. I am YOLOing life right now. But they are my partner.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that support, like I would crumble a lot. So the fact that you guys have found each other is so important. Mm-hmm. And for other people that are just starting this journey, because obviously a year ago, you guys were not expecting to go through any of this. Yeah. What would you say?
Just keep fighting. Don't give up. I mean, I think I'm going to live. I thought I was going to be here. I think the biggest thing is let the people out of your life that don't purpose you, serve you, focus on you, and be kind. And like, just don't ever give up. The loss is my aspiration. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Do what you have to do to stay alive. Don't let one doctor tell you got a certain amount of time to live. No, because you can surpass that.
Well, I think that's the most important part is you don't have to fit into like a cookie cutter of how to deal with your type of cancer or your illness. Like, because there are so many different ways that people handle their stuff or choose to treat it. And, there is no right or wrong way. It's whatever works for you as a person.
And don't let anyone tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Fight, you advocate for yourself. Because I don't think if we didn't do it, it would have been a different outcome for us.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, what was the name of that test you took?
The live blended out. Oh, I will send you all the information on it.
We're going to keep plugging that one.
Yeah, we are definitely going to. I actually had a friend that, so I take a lot of medication for like anxiety and depression and all that. And I had a friend that recommended that I take a blood test because they found out that her son, the medicine that they were giving him was doing absolutely nothing because of his breakdown in terms of, and it was a blood test that they take and they can tell what medications will or will not do anything. Mm-hmm. And about 80% of what he was taking was going to do absolutely nothing because his body was not made for that.
Same thing. I met a lady at the casino and I don't know how we just met. She was telling me she's sick. So I gave her, I was like, you need to go get your blood tested. The prescription that she was getting from the doctor, it was making the iron come out of her body. Her hands were turning like copper. She would have been dead within a month. Yeah. And then she, yeah. So then when she went done, the doctor was like, oh my God, painful. And she told me, she sent me photos and all, like, her arms and her hands, like, she would have been dead. You know what? I bet that you were saying, like, you're on things for depression and anxiety. Like, I bet you, if you got your live blood tested, she would see some gut issues for you. Like, a lot of your mental health and your immunity health comes from your gut. Like, a good majority of it is from your gut. And if you have gut disturbances or inflammation or whatever, you're probably feeling that come out in, like, a mental health way.
That's so funny because I actually have about 3 family members that have leaky gut.
I bet you everyone has.
Yeah, I'm like, I never heard of that until they said
Like, very fortunate enough to live in Europe where it's so beautiful and clean. We live in North America where our food is absolute poison. So, I would say like a good chunk of North Americans have gut issues. And it's probably why we see such huge numbers of mental health here.
Yeah. No, I would totally, because one of the biggest things, I was walking into an event the other day and I didn't want to walk in. I kept calling everybody that I knew that was there, and it was just, I was shaking. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was like, I can't do this. Everybody's like, you're right here. Just fucking go in the door. But you feel it. You feel like, yeah. But I would not be surprised.
Right?
Because I've actually had someone else that deals with these issues, and he would tell me to take Tums.
Oh.
I'm like, really? And he's like, it helps like calm something down in your body. So I'm like, okay.
Before I do Tums.
Some ginger.
Ginger, yes. Ginger was really big in my house.
Ginger is.
I hate, when I smelled ginger, I would like run away. Because I knew that meant I had to drink it.
Right? Oh, like I'll make ginger beef. I like it, and that's about it. And I mean, immunity boosting shots, and love it. I will cook with it. I'll cook with supplement.
See? I'm not the only one. This one, Jen tries to get me to eat greens all the time.
All the time. I'm like, it's so good. Just eat it. Eat the broccoli.
Or take, like, I'll eat your french fries. I know, but I know diet has a lot to do with like certain situations too. And wait, so tell me more about your podcast as well, because so we've gone through like what you both have went through together or separately, and then found each other in the process, which I love, and I totally advocate on these social media groups that have like, I had a partial placental abruption with my last pregnancy. And if it wasn't for the group that I was in and the things that they were recommending that the doctors were not, I don't think that either me or my son would be here today. So I'm totally about these support groups. Regardless what it is you're going through in life, there's someone out there that can relate to you. And it is so important to have like-minded people around you, because no one knows what you're going through except for people that have been in your shoes.
We've had many people reach out to both of us independently and say, you're a testimony or you're an inspiration. And both of us are shocked by it. Like, we said this before, like, we're both such hot messes, right?
But you're not.
No.
You're
We keep a positive attitude. I mean,
Yeah,
I do, and not everybody does.
no.
And it's such an important part of healing.
That's what I was going to say. Is like the biggest takeaway is find joy in everything and be positive about everything. But there's such a stigma around cancer that you're sick, you're dying, you're going to die, whatever. That's not the same person that you always were. And I mean, there's some truth to that, right? Her and I are not the same people we were a year ago, but we are, right?
I think our compassion for people has been tenfold now, and we care more.
Yeah.
Want to help people. That's what our podcast is really about, is sharing our journey, so that maybe there's a neuroendocrine cancer patient out there, the doctors call them blah, 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 or whatever. It's like, and they want help, but they don't know where to go because they're lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got you. Like, this may not work for you, but you could, if you could take something that's worked for my body and I can put you in that path, or just like with breast cancer with Becky.
Yeah.
We want to be able to try and help as many people that we can, because it's a lonely journey, but we're here. We're here. We're here for you. I have a lady I met, never met her. She's in the States. when I sent her my cookbook because she wanted them, she actually had hospice come to her door right when we started talking, and she's still living, you know, and she's like, I'm so grateful that I found you. We tell each other we love each other. Like, I've never met her. It's like, but she's an amazing woman. Mississippi, I think. And great. And she's just an amazing woman. And we helped each other, even though we can't be beside each other. Just the text in the morning, I love you, I hope you're having a good day.
It matters. Having that support and knowing that there's someone there that kind of gets what you're going through and you're not alone. That's the most important thing. You're not alone. Like, there's other people that will totally have your back, even if they're strangers.
So I find that on this journey, strangers are more caring than the people that we know.
I felt
not all the people that we know, but you know what I mean? And that,
Oh, yeah. They can relate more, but it probably has something to do with they've either been in the situation or they've been around people that have been, and they're empathetic, and not everybody is.
Yeah.
There's no judgment there. There's no judgment. And that's important. No judgment.
I think we really also wanted to show that, like, young people are getting sick. Like, yes, this isn't just for old people. Like, I was 36, she was 37 when we got sick. Like, and you know, it's not like we're 20 getting sick, but you don't think in the prime of your life as a woman or as anybody that you're going to get this, right?
The doctor said to me, when this all can happen, well, you're too young. It's like, this baby's getting cancer.
But cancer happens to anyone.
Don't get sick, right?
Especially it's not prejudice.
No.
Yeah, mine is super weird and whatever, uncommon.
Like, what we're learning through this process is that, you know, for me, mine is not hormonal based. Mine, HER2 positive, is estrogen negative. And so it's like, we're going to come from it. Wasn't passed down from family. It wasn't my hormones out of whack. And it's like, you really have to look at the emotional side of things. Like, what then to me that I repressed? What did I hold on to? What trauma is in my life? And then it's like, needs to take such a deep dive. And so that's what I was saying before, like, so much of it is mental, because it is, you really have to dig into yourself and release that. And that's hard because change sucks, man. Change is hard. Yeah, admitting that you're like not that great is hard. And seeing that, like, I'm now seeing 2 different counselors because our cancer center provides it. One, a sex counselor, didn't know I needed it, but I do. No, when we went, I picked my husband and there was a lot of stuff that came up. And then, like, another counselor, and things that I didn't even know that I was feeling came out. And it's like, because I'm being just so buried in there. And so I think a lot of times, like, and not saying it's the reason that people get cancer, but I do think a lot of times you bury stuff and that trauma is going to attach itself to different parts of your body. Your cells are listening.
Well, I feel like stress is, all that stress and stuff it does manifest.
So
your body.
I think what Ashley just said something there we might have missed a little, but it's a great point. You said your cells are listening. It's true, and that's positive.
Yeah. You know, like,
oh yeah. Every time, like, as a joke, I'd always say with my friends, like, that's the third way. Like, that's not me. Like, it's just as a joke. It would always just be a joke between me and my friends. But it's like, what did I tell my body that? Like, my body hears it, right?
Well, that was like with my baby, my son. I tell him he's handsome. I tell him he's smart. I tell him he's strong and brave. And, like, before my cancer journey, when I kind of came out of it, and I was like, look in the mirror, like, you're beautiful. You're strong. You got this. I feel like sister, my one sister probably thinks I'm crazy. But if I eat this, have this shake, or, you know, like, all these things. Supplements. You need to have your Celtic salt before you drink your water. My sister's like, you know, but those things, if we do that, it really does change our thinking. Like, my boy, you should see his face when I tell him he's handsome and he's strong, and he just like that. And he's so happy. Like, you're that day. Like, I usually try and tell him almost every single morning when we wake up or throughout the day, just to, like, set his mood for his day. You know, and I think that's important. I think more of us should talk to ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Tommy, what did you say?
Right.
What did I say?
Tommy actually told me something for, like, it's actually something his wife relayed to him, and then or his sister, depends on how much of your show you listen to. But
we're not from Alabama.
My son, my 5-year-old, or his daughter, my 5-year-old, thought that his wife was his daughter. So,
But that's
She was happy to hear that for sure.
Yeah.
she definitely said like for every one kind of
Oh yeah, for every negative, every 1,000 attaboys that gets ruined by like you suck, or any one negative statement counteracts 1,000 attaboys, and it's true because it's like that. We've talked about this before, but it's like that study they did in Japan where they had 2 plants and they had a group of school kids berating the one plant and then loving on the other plant, and the loved plant thrived, and the berated plant wilted and basically died. And it's like that, like you said, the cells are listening. Like we internalize all of that, and that it's super, super important. So I commend you guys. I commend you guys for your bravery and
absolutely
attitude, and hopefully anybody listening can hear that and say, you know what? Okay, I hear this word, but it's not a death sentence, and I can
yes.
And
And you are totally inspirations because it is so challenging just going through every day being in the society we're in now with the constant attacking. Like nothing we do is ever right. Nothing we do as a mother is ever right. Nothing we do as a partner is ever right. Nothing we do, like we are always being judged around every corner. So to have that being like thrown at you and then to be told, hey, by the way, we're going to let this day up for you a little bit more. And to get through that and still come out with not just a positive freaking outlook, but like to be so caring, to like feel like, you know what, fuck you. Like, somebody's going through something, and for you to be sitting there and embarrassing them in a space that is meant for this is ridiculous. But not enough people stand up in that way. Everybody wants to stand up for these things that don't fucking matter anymore, because honestly, and I tell my kids these, and I'm very kind of like vocal in certain ways, but I don't give a shit who you're sleeping with. It's none of my fucking business. It's none of your business who I'm sleeping with. It's none of my business who you're sleeping with. But you know what is important? Balancing your checkbook. Being an important person. Or not important, but look nice. Be nice.
Yeah.
Just catch each other. Knowing that you need an education. Knowledge is power. Knowing that you need to be able to communicate with people, because that's how... Dude, there are just so many other things that we need to focus on. And being empathetic is something that people are not anymore.
No, we've lost that.
A lot of it.
Having manners. Just straight up manners.
What's that?
Having manners.
We are Canadian, so there's a lot of sorries and everything here. But and like that America has this stigma that Americans are rude and Canadians are polite. No, that it's not the case. I mean, Canadians are so rude.
Watch hockey. Just watch hockey. Just watch hockey.
Oh my God, they're amazing. They're my favorite people to watch on the ice.
And speaking of we'd love and support you guys from Miami, Connecticut, and New Jersey, and we got we're going to be rooting for you guys for sure.
Absolutely.
But one thing we will definitely hate on you guys next week or so, Rangers versus the Oilers in the Stanley Cup. So we'll be full on hate, and then after that's over, we got you back. Hopefully we get there.
Yeah, man.
I would love to get there. That would be a definite shout.
If that happens, we will do a New York and Edmonton show. We'll do a second show with you guys. It'll be all
and keep your mental states, like keep your minds focused in the direction you're going.
Yeah.
You guys exude this energy and this love, and it's just amazing. But I know it's amazing. We are too. We cry all the time.
Oh my God, I'm always crying. I have issues on my desk because I'm a crier.
You're absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I cried on all our episodes with Becky. Like,
I do cry. If you put on an episode of Maury, I am done. Done. Can that girl not find the baby?
Isn't that the one? You are not the baby's father.
You are not the father, and you are not the father.
We have tested 10 fathers.
But it gets me every time.
Worry. On that note.
thank you guys so much.
Really, so much.
Thank you so much for coming on with us, and it's such a pleasure meeting you guys, and I look forward to our teams playing against each other and us doing it again.
Yeah, I'm about to listen. But yeah, if anyone wants to follow our podcast, we're on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Just 2 Girls with Cancer, 2 spelled out, not the number.
I'm on TikTok and Instagram.
And any emails if anybody has any questions or wants to reach out?
Yeah, 2girlswithcancer@gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Oh my God, I love them.
Yeah, that was super
Yeah.
cool.
They were really nice to talk to.
Very inspirational.
I loved hearing their stories. I loved hearing more about them. It was interesting.
And the direction that their minds took. And
Yeah.
the fact that like people can have like alternate methods of attacking things, and you're just kind of like your frame of mind is so important on how you feel. Also, I
Everyone's
just
so different.
fucking need to know what's in that fucking Amazon box.
The tease.
What did we get?
No. So
Do you understand? They're talking, and I'm looking at the Amazon box going,
Oh,
what's
shit. No, it's all right. So it's cowboy boots. They're for mine. They didn't come on time, so I'm gonna send them back. Yeah, it was for the show, but they didn't get here on time. So Christine's came in, Molly's didn't, so they're going back.
Wow, boo.
So sorry about that. But that was a great, just really,
that
that was
was
yeah,
inspirational.
and they were fun, and which is great because
Sure.
you think, oh, 2 girls with cancer, this is gonna be a downer, but
It's not
wasn't.
that bad. My
It was-
No, it wasn't at all.
when I remember when my mom got sick the first time, 30 whatever years ago, she was like, I have to have a positive attitude.
yeah,
I have
that's
to stay
the
positive.
most
I have to
important
stay
thing.
positive. And she and weed because she smoked a lot because she had no appetite. So she smoked a lot of marijuana when she was going through chemo.
So did my sister. She smoked, and then when she was doing the chemo, a lot of her friends, like she had like the hippie friends, so they would go and play guitars and stuff, like
Oh, nice.
while she was getting her chemo done. But that was the first
Oh,
time, and then after
that's-
that, she was like, no.
But that's positivity and energy and and all that
It is.
stuff. And that's
It's that whole like vision of manifest destiny.
Yeah,
Like you put out and into the world what it is that you're expecting. The universe will listen.
and it comes back.
and these two ladies, Ashley and Becky, were awesome. And
They were.
we'll cheer for them, and we'll definitely have them on again. I'd love to get an update from them. And they're doing some cool stuff. So
Yeah, 2 girls with cancer, right?
Yep.
Let's go. Becky and
Ashley.
girls with cancer at gmail.com. Right here on Rule 42.
What?
1, 2, 3, 42.
Rule 42 is hosted by Audrey Cruz and Jen Burke. It is produced and edited by Tom Smith. The opening song is Rule 42 by Eddie Carr. Rule 42's artwork was created by Aubrey Cruz. And I'm your announcer, Molly Smith. Thank you for listening to Rule 42. We hope you enjoyed the show. New episodes premiere every Thursday on all podcast platforms. Please subscribe, share the show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple.